Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and thanks for joining us today, September 9th, on No Greater Delight, our podcast on Marian feasts and Marian meditations. Well, to start us off on this day after Mary's birthday, we'll take our lead from the Abbot Orsini, who tells us they celebrate Our Lady of the Puy, or Le Puy, in Valais, France. We're told that St. George, who was its first bishop, had marked out the site of this church, but it wasn't built until around the year 221. The Blessed Virgin herself, we're told, gave the charge of it to St. Evodius, or Vosi, the seventh bishop of the same place, whom she ordered to transfer his episcopal see to Puy. St. Evodius obeyed the Blessed Virgin, but when he wished to consecrate his new church, it was made known to him that the dedication of it had been performed by the angels. The doors opened of themselves, the bells rung of themselves, the candles were found lighted, and the holy chrism, which the angels had used, appeared quite fresh upon the altar and the walls. Interesting. Jumping over to the Philippines, in San Mateo Rizal, Philippines, they celebrate Our Lady of Aranzazu, colloquially known as Birhen ng Bayang San Mateo, Our Lady of the Town of San Mateo. At the request of Pope Francis, this image was solemnly crowned on May 31st, 2017. We also have a number of interesting things here. In Milan, Italy, they celebrate the Feast of the Miracle of a nun's healing, which took place in 1884. They also celebrate Madonna del Monte Saraceno in Cavello, in Potenza Basilicata, in Italy. The statue was crowned because on September 9th, 1947, the statue returned from... when the statue was crowned. On this day, it returns from its mountain sanctuary and goes into the town. Likewise, in Mont Blanc, Tarragona, in Catalonia, Spain, we celebrate Mar de Déu de la Serra, the Mother of God of the Mountains. This statue in Catalonia was solemnly crowned in 1906. Likewise, in Cebu, in the Philippines, they celebrate the blessing of the statue and the miracle of the sun in 1992. This is the Theotokos image in Perelos in Carcar, in Cebu. So, this recent thing, it took place in 1989. Father John Ronda was inspired by the visit of the Pilgrim Virgin of Fatima. You know, they have that statue that makes pilgrimages around the world. He was inspired to obtain permission from Cardinal Vidal, the Archbishop of Cebu Island, to build a shrine to host the Perpetual Dawn Rosary. That Perpetual Dawn Rosary is a particular Philippine devotion in which people gather before dawn to begin their day with prayer to Our Lady. However, he couldn't find an appropriate site until several people dreamed that it should be on Perelos Hill near the city of Carcar. Suddenly, the property went up for sale at a very low price, so they bought it. And the shrine complex, which has since been built, nestled between the mountains and the sea, includes a large pavilion with a stylized version of the sign icon and a 20-foot white statue of Our Lady of Fatima. Now, what's interesting, and this is the miracle of the sun that's being referred to, on September 9th, 1992, when Cardinal Vidal blessed the statue under the title of Theotokos, that's Mother of God, many people witnessed the miracle of the sun. The sun danced across the sky, spinning and changing colors. And in fact, they say this took place for 5 months, which attracted many visitors. Last, but certainly not least, we have a very important image, which is Santa Maria la Antigua. Literally, that's like Holy Mary, the old, like the ancient. It's celebrated in Panama, but the story goes back much further, right? Legend has it that one night, during his siege of the city of Seville, King Ferdinand III of Castile prostrated himself before the Virgen de los Reyes, Our Lady of Kings, to ask for her help. Our Lady called him by name and assured him of her protection, but asked that he come, that an image of hers be venerated, an image that was hidden in Seville, right? The story goes that an angel then appeared who accompanied King Ferdinand into the city, actually into the principal mosque, where on the inside there was a wall that had become transparent, like glass, in which was hidden an image of Our Lady painted from the early centuries, right? Just as Our Lady had described it. And so he brought it back to the camp. So the angel actually brought him back to camp without anyone realizing it or like and nobody realized it. A few days later, Ferdinand III was able to enter Seville on November 23rd, 1248, on the feast of Saint Clement. And for that reason, the first monastery that he founds will have the name of Saint Clement, right? So this image of Our Lady was in a lateral chapel, side chapel of the Cathedral of Seville in Spain. This church was rebuilt in the 14th century and the image conserved, right? And so they started calling it Santa Maria de la Antigua, right? Meaning Our Lady of the Old Cathedral, right? And so it's one of the first invocations that actually reached the Isthmus of Panama in 1510, right? It's because they made a promise to Our Lady, these two, Vasco Núñez de Balboa and the seminarian Martín Fernández de Enciso. They promised to Our Lady that they would give her name to a village if they would survive a very fierce battle with the natives. So they survived, and they won the battle. And so the village that was of this Indian chief, Semaco, they gave the name Santa Maria la Antigua, right? And so on September 9th, 1530, Pope Leo X created the first diocese, right? And the little chapel of Our Lady was elevated to the status of cathedral, right? This new diocese was a suffragan diocese of the Archdiocese of Seville, interestingly enough. On August 15th, 1519, the city of Panama was founded, and where they honor Our Lady of the Summer, or the Assumption, right? But in 1524, the Diocese of Santa Maria la Antigua, that first diocese, was moved to the newly founded city of Panama, right? But not only was the diocese moved, but also that devotion to Santa Maria la Antigua was transferred to the capital, and she actually became the patroness of the city of Panama and the patroness of actually the whole kingdom there, right? And yes, in fact, in 2001, the Vatican confirmed Santa Maria la Antigua, St. Mary the Ancient, as they have it in one English translation, as the patroness of the Republic of Panama. And they said September 9th is her feast day for the entire country. Right. Another little small fact: on November 24th, 1929, the image was solemnly crowned by Cardinal Ilundain, and in 2014, after the Panamanian Episcopal Conference made the request, the Congregation of the Dicastery for Divine Worship and the Discipline of the Sacraments gave the cathedral the title of Minor Basilica. So this is all what we are celebrating today in the Marian world on September 9th. For today's reading from True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort, we will read the conclusion of his introductory points. As we said, these are sort of, just things to think about, or aphorisms that will sort of penetrate this entire book, right? They give us an idea of what St. Louis de Montfort thinks of Mary and why it is so important that we grow in our devotion to her. Point 9. The whole earth is full of Mary's glory, especially among Christians, amongst whom she is taken as the protectress of many kingdoms, provinces, dioceses, and cities. Numbers of cathedrals are consecrated to God under her name. There is not a church without an altar in her honor, not a country or a canton where there are not some miraculous images, where all sorts of evils are cured, and all sorts of good gifts are obtained. Who can count the confraternities and congregations in her honor? How many religious orders have been founded in her name and under her protection? What numbers there are of brothers and sisters of all these confraternities, and of religious men and women of all these orders, who publish her praises and confess her mercies. There is not a little child who, as it lisps the Ave Maria, does not praise her. There is scarcely a sinner who, even in his stubbornness, has not some spark of confidence in her. Nay, the very devils in hell respect her, while they fear her. 10. After that, we must surely say with the saints, De Maria numquam satis. Like, of Mary, one can never say enough. We have not yet praised, exalted, honored, loved, and served Mary as we ought to do. She has deserved still more praise, still more respect, still more love, and far more service. 11. After that, we must say with the Holy Ghost, Omnis gloria filice regis ab intus. all the glory of the king's daughter is within. It is as if all the outward glory, which heaven and earth rival each other in laying at her feet, is nothing in comparison with that which she receives within from the Creator, and which is not known by creatures, who in their littleness are unable to penetrate the secret of the secrets of the King. 12. After that we must cry out with the Apostle, Nec oculus vidit, ne auris audivit, nec in cor hominis ascendit. Eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor man's heart comprehended the beauties, the grandeurs, the excellence of Mary, the miracle of the miracles of grace, of nature, and of glory. If you wish to comprehend the Mother, says a saint, comprehend the Son. For she is the worthy Mother of God. Hic tacit omnis lingua. Here let every tongue be silent. And the final point, 13. It is with a particular joy that my heart has dictated what I have just written, in order to show that the Divine Mary has been up to this time unknown, and that this is one of the reasons why Jesus Christ is not known as he ought to be. If then, as is certain, the kingdom of Jesus Christ is to come into the world, it will be but a necessary consequence of the knowledge of the kingdom of the Most Holy Virgin Mary, who brought him into the world the first time, and will make his second advent full of splendor.
Hello, and we hope that you enjoyed listening to our Marian podcast. In the spirit of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, we say to you that there is no greater delight than to spread the devotion of Our Lady. We hope you share these sentiments and encourage you greatly to share with a loved one. Know that you are always in our prayers, and we ask that you keep us in yours. God bless.